Good afternoon. Post-lunch session. It is the most difficult session in terms of not the virtualization, in terms of the keeping the people awake and alert. So I think, so I'll try to make it more interactive so that we don't feel any heaviness or. Okay, so that was my first presentation where I talked about overall picture of virtualization. Now I will try to focus what is happening in open source area in terms of virtualization and little bit thinking beyond box virtualization and what are the different tools available from IBM which can give you the complete end-to-end virtualized solutions. So I will just touch upon some open source, open standards, some definition which you are already aware. So I will try to reiterate them. And before going to open source or what is happening in open source in terms of virtualization, there are some key points which I would like to remember you all. That please remember that virtualization is not about high performance. So if you talk about single system, if you have an older system, you expect that after virtualizing you will get more power out of that. So this is not the case actually. It is not going to give you the high performance as per single server to server, server to application is concerned. So virtualization gives you the IT optimization, your hardware optimization. So whatever resource you have, if you take some of them after virtualizing, then you will get better performance. So overall throughput will increase. It is not that if any poor performance system is there and you will get any good performance after virtualizing it. So it gives you, in totality, it will give you the throughput improvement. Similarly, it will not overcome any weak server architecture. If you have any older server with some weaker architecture, so it will not improve the hardware architecture or any improvement into the hardware specification or anything. So if you have any weak server in your organization, try to remove them before going for virtualization. But some of the systems, older system, you can incorporate. But try to minimize as much as, because the failure rate will be higher and definitely tools are there which can manage them, but it's always better to keep the weaker architecture away. So if you see the history with virtualization, IBM has got 40 years old history. We have started our virtualization technique with mainframes. So this is basically, it's an integration of hardware, firmware and software. So power, can anybody tell me what is a hypervisor? I have used one term hypervisor. What is hypervisor? Exactly. So OS will not directly talk to the hardware. So there is a hypervisor, it's a piece of software which will sit on the top of the hardware and OS will directly not talk with the hardware. So it will give the control to hypervisor and then hypervisor will talk to the hardware. So this is very old technology and IBM has used it 40 years back in mainframes. So these are the key points you should always remember. So we have already gone through these kind of statement that virtualization enables consolidation of hardware and data center. I will just, you can just go through that. It simplifies your infrastructure, it will increase your asset utilization, it reduces the management cost, and it increases the security and performance. So there are some customer references are there. I will not go with the detail into that. So there are some customers. So before virtualization, what was the situation? What was the solution given to them and what were the benefits they got. So you can see that they improved after virtualization, they increased in terms of efficiency, in terms of cost saving, etc. So virtualization helps save cost. So since you save in your power consumption, you are consolidating the server in a single box, so you are saving the power. You are decreasing the number of servers, storage and network devices, so failure rates are also less. You are shrinking the floor space also. So these are some concerns. If you go for data center, these are really serious concerns about power consumption and floor space. So virtualization helps you saving cost in terms of making a data center. So this is a HANA for the one customer and they went for virtualization. So they got some benefits. The biggest advantage with virtualization is it can support heterogeneous environment, and it gives you the freedom from vendor lock-in. So you are not dependent on any single vendor or any single system integrator. It gives you flexibility. So, and it supports the heterogeneous environment.